Welcome to the 2024 Super Bowl Breakfast live stream. Presented by He Gets Us and Kids Not For Sale. Now, here's your host, Sage Steele.
Here, Chiefs 49ers. It's kind of going to be some old school football, maybe a little bit there. Before we get to tomorrow's kickoff, though, we are going to hear from some of the NFL's greatest players and finest people. And most importantly today, we're going to present the 2024 Bart Starr Award to a very deserving man. If you're not familiar with the event, here's a little bit of history for you. Pay attention. The first Super Bowl breakfast was held, actually Super Bowl 22, San Diego, way back in 1988. It has grown to become one of 5 NFL-sanctioned events that take place each year during Super Bowl week. The centerpiece of the event is the presentation of the Bart Starr Award, which will be presented by Tony Dungy a little later in this program today. The award was established in the name of Green Bay Packers, the great, to honor the NFL player as selected by his peers who has demonstrated character, leadership, and integrity in his home, on the field, and in the community. Before we honor this year's recipient, I am joined by 2 of the legendary past winners. When I say legendary, I mean legendary as far as the award, but as players as well. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching. Okay, for those of you who don't know who they are, shame on you. First things first, I got your back though. Mr. Munoz, Anthony Munoz, was the 2nd recipient. That was a long time ago.
That was
yes.
Ago. Yeah, the second one right after Steve Largent.
Wow, but hey, you still look young. That was, 1990, and considered by most, I think, and I know you're humble, but the greatest offensive tackle in NFL history. Don't you? He won't say it. Can we say that?
Oh yes, he is. He's
okay.
More than exceptional.
Well, I appreciate that.
He did okay. He did okay, and he still looks like he could go. And to my right is running back Ward Dunn, who rushed for over 10,000 yards.
I'm 37 shy of 11,000.
Wait, no one can hear you. Put this up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm 37 yards shy of 11,000. But I got over 15,000 yards of total offense.
Can we round up?
Oh yeah, we can.
Round up.
I would definitely round up.
Round up.
And I would have loved to block for that guy. I tell you what, I would have loved to have been up there trying to open those holes for Ward.
That means somebody probably missed their block and cost him those 37 yards, right?
Yeah, they did. It
wouldn't have been him.
It wouldn't have got it.
Warwick winning that award back in 2009. Anthony, let me start with you. You played in a couple of Super Bowls.
Yep.
What, 16?
16 and 23.
Okay, both against?
The 49ers. I was going to say both against Joe Montana, but they were the 49ers.
Yes.
Yeah. In Pontiac, Michigan, first cold weather Super Bowl, and then down in Miami. Of course, the first one, 16, the goal line stand. We had the ball first and goal at the 1. 4 times, Warwick. 4 times, and we couldn't score. And then, of course, the 92-yard drive in Super Bowl 23 in Miami with maybe less than 3 minutes left. And, of course, Montana to John Taylor with 34 seconds. They beat us 2016.
You know what always amazes me about football players is that they remember every single detail, every single play. He said 34 seconds left.
That's it.
Win or lose, you never forget some of those key plays.
Well, the next season, Sam Weiss put a clock in our locker room, and it had 34 seconds.
No way.
It did.
Wow. Ingrained there forever.
Yeah.
However, I don't think people fully appreciate how difficult it is just to get to the darn game, and you got there twice.
Yeah.
Hi, Warwick Dunn.
Hi.
How about your experience? Again, an outstanding career with the Buccaneers. I covered Warwick from 98 to 01 in Tampa with Tony Dungy, who we'll hear from later in today's show. Also the Falcons.
Yeah,
What's your fondest memory?
That I never got a chance to play in the Super Bowl. I got the 2 NFC Championship games, and I've gotten close. Just never been able to really play and really get the experience of Super Bowl during the Super Bowl week. So that hurts a little bit. But I remember all the plays I didn't make. To me, that's way more important. The plays I didn't make, the things I could have that I did not make. Because when you're trying to be a perfectionist, or you're really honed in on always trying to make the play when your numbers call. Yeah. So the plays I didn't make, that's what I remember. So
that's fascinating to me, because you made so many more plays than plays you did not. But I think that's what I always grew to love about him, covering you back in those days, is the humility. And I think it's impossible to be perfect playing football, but that's always the goal, to never miss a block. to never get brought down early, right?
Yeah, to never fumble. I didn't want to
Right.
miss a block when I had to block guys, catch the ball. You always try to be perfect. I mean, we're not going to be perfect athletes, but you always try to give everything, leave it on the field, and that's what I tried to do as a player.
You're right, and I agree with Warwick. The worst thing for me is to look back and to see Boomer Esiason on the ground with my guy on top of him. And we talk about perfection. The great Vince Lombardi, and I love his quote when he said, "Perfection is unattainable, but if you chase perfection, you're going to catch excellence." And I think, knowing and watching Warwick, I believe that's what he does. I think that's what we all do. Is we chase that perfection.
Yes.
Yeah.
We know we can't get it, but we want to be excellent. And that's the fun thing about it. We learn from all our failures. I mean, people don't want to fail, but that's where you learn.
Yes.
That's where you learn from, and that's what I'm thankful for. I always tell my kids when they're growing up, the fruit tree grows best in the valley, not on top of the mountain.
Right.
It's so true, but it does take a minute for us to realize that, doesn't it?
It does. Oh,
like, at what age did you all realize? Because I'm still getting there. Did you realize that, okay, this stinks when we're down in that valley?
Yep.
But there's going to be a rise and there'll be positivity. Maybe it's a faith thing. Maybe that's what it is. But when did you learn that?
Well, I think just growing up, the way that I grew up in Louisiana, Baton Rouge, playing low league football early, I was always small. So I've always had to go out and do extra, improve myself. So I think it's been ingrained over the years, and definitely after losing my mom and those things, you figure out the things that you're truly passionate about. And I was always attention to details, because when you're raising 5 other humans, it's attention to the little things to make sure they have the best life possible moving forward. So it's attention to details.
I think let's segue, because what you just said there is something I wanted to touch on anyway. Both of you, the reason you won these awards, this prestigious Bart Starr Award, is because of your work in the community throughout your whole careers, for sure, and I know you're continuing to do so now. Warwick, for those who don't know, tell us the story of your why, and it has to do with your mom.
Well, my mom, when I was 2 days after my 18th birthday, my mom, who was a Baton Rouge City police officer, was gunned down in a line of duty. And being the oldest of 6, my mom only made $36,000, so she was trying to work extra jobs just to create stability for us. And never having that opportunity, I started this program that called Homes for Holidays when I was challenged by Coach Dungy to get involved and give back to the community. And I started this program 26 years ago to help a single parent with down payment assistance, but also fully furnishing their homes with food, furniture, linens, garden tools, TVs, computers, all the way now down to the toothbrush. So we try to help families with a true fresh start to home ownership. We're in 16 states, 30 cities. We're up to 221 single parent families, and not just mothers. We've helped 6 single fathers as well. So we just want to help families. And my experience growing up being the oldest, I had a lot of responsibility, and I just feel like being challenged by Coach Dungy, go pay it forward. City of Baton Rouge started the fund for us and really showed me what it means to care about your neighbor, wrap your arms around them. And I just really tried to live out that passion and the mission to help families, people, live a better life than what they previously lived. So
I have to say, I was there, Anthony, for the second home that he awarded to a single mother. And I had been told, obviously I knew him and I had read about what he was trying to do. He was just at the early stages and was there at that moment. It was a long time ago. And when that mother walked in with her kids, and to see a beautifully furnished home like that, it was so incredible. And again, you had a very different experience. You had an incredible, the most difficult experience a child can have. And for you to pay it forward. I want to say this too, though. What I thought was really cool is that it isn't just, here you go, here's a house with food and everything. There was a long process to find each mother. At the time it was just mothers, and to hold them accountable to make sure that they continue to grow so their kids aren't in this position. Real quick, talk about that.
Yeah, well, now we have support services, financial literacy called Count on Your Future, where we tell families, if you invest in yourself, we will invest in you and match them up to $500. I have a mental health program called Betty's Hope, where I try to help kids in the school system with their mental health, the everyday challenges. I also have a program called Scope, Healthy Food Initiative, where now we're really being much more holistic about, eating healthier, families getting their biometrics, working out, growing building a garden in your backyard, growing your vegetables. So it's much more holistic. So it's all about, we got a healthy body overall, but healthy mind, financial health. So just really wrapped everything underneath our Scope program that we're going to move forward. So over the years, it's always you're learning, you're hearing from the families, and how can we be better? And I've always just tried to move things and hear what they're saying. How can we now go out and really touch a part of this in the community to help people to live a better life? So I'm all about, if people know me financially, they say, I'm all about needs versus wants. Hey, get what you need, not the things that you want. So if we could,
something that you actually had to teach your younger siblings immediately upon the passing of your mother. And this man, the strongest man I know, because of that and because of how he handled himself ever since. Anthony, again, your commitment to the community from day one as well. Again, explain to people exactly what you do and your why behind it.
Well, when I look at my why, it's got to start back, and I mean the fact that you work with single moms. I grew up with a single mom. My mom raised 5 kids by herself, working 2-3 jobs. And I'm talking not just, they were hard labor jobs, and we learned work ethic and responsibility. My dad was in and out of prison the entire time I was being raised. Never met my dad. He passed away after he got out of prison. So that motivation of what mom was doing for the 5 kids and the support I had from, she was one of 10, from uncles and stuff. And it kind of went on to high school and, elementary, high school, the teachers and the coaches that poured into my life. As a kid, I saw that athletics was going to be my way out at a very young age. And I wanted that to happen to provide for my mom. And, my dream as a 7-year-old kid starting to play baseball is I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player so I could buy my mom a house. The sports didn't work out, but I went to another professional sport. So that motivation of what she did for her 5 kids, and amazingly, we lost her 7 years ago, and actually 8 years ago, Super Bowl in San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
So that was, the beginning of the motivation. Of course, then as a 19-year-old sophomore at USC, just newly married. So that was 46 years ago. As Dee Dee and I celebrate 46 years of marriage in 2 months, I'll celebrate 46 years of my faith journey as I invited Christ into my life as a sophomore at USC, this big rough and tough football player. So the motivation of my mom and teachers and coaches that poured into my life, and then really wanting to be obedient to the Lord from my playing days. So after I finished, I started my own foundation. It has my name, but it's not about me. I have an amazing team, staff, board members, volunteers, corporate partners, and we have 8 programs. We probably work with 25 to 3,000 kids a year, through leadership, character, and scholarships to continue their education. And I didn't start until about 7 years after I retired, because as a husband, father, and an NFL football player, I didn't have enough time. I wanted to roll my sleeves up and get involved. And I understand the relevance and the leverage that you have as a player, but I said, no, I'm going to wait because I want to be involved. And we're going on.
There were other things, though, that you did every Tuesday, by the way. That's their one-off day. They're in the community, so you did a lot then. Let me ask you, when you got that call from Bart and Cherry that you were the winner, what was that like?
Well, it was very emotional. Having known all about Bart, my first head coach in Cincinnati protected Bart Starr, Forrest Gregg.
Oh, wow.
Played on those great Green Bay Packers teams. So I knew about Bart. I knew about the man of character and faith and family man and MVP and a leader. So when I was like, oh my goodness. And knowing that it wasn't what I was doing on the field, but who we are, that even carried more weight, that I would be getting this award that is named the Bart Starr Award. And it's very humbling. Even now, years and years after having received it, I still pinch myself that I'm in this great fraternity of former winners, and now Minkah Fitzpatrick, now a winner. We'll be in this, this fraternity together forever.
What an incredible kid he is, and that again is it's just so special to see these young men continuing to be honored. And oh, by the way, they appreciate you. They appreciate the history behind it. We only have about 60 seconds left. Should I ask you now for a prediction or later? What do you think? What's your gut, Warwick Dunn?
I just want to see a really good game.
No, that's not an answer.
Yes, it is an answer. Both teams are talented, so I just think they're going to be back and forth. The game is different than when we played. To me, it's night and day. So it's unpredictable. Just enjoy. I'm just going to enjoy the game. But
you know what?
I'm more of an NFC guy.
This is what he did to me in the locker room for 3 years. We were on, then afterwards, I'd be like, just answer my question.
Well, they went reaction. We had to make decisions. I'm going to say great game, 2 great teams. but I cannot go against Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and Travis Kelce. I got to go Chiefs by 4 to 6 points.
46?
No, 4 to 6. No, 4 to 6 points.
You heard that
It'd be
too?
a close game. No.
4 to 6 points. That is an answer.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Munoz. Would you like to adjust?
Stop it.
No?
Stop. Well, I play in the NFC. So
Okay, 49ers.
I'll just go with
By 46 points? Or
not 46.
I'm kidding.
It's gonna
4 to 6.
Yeah, I just want to
Okay,
take
we're
really
balanced.
good game. So I'm more NFC because I didn't play for an AFC team. So
Okay.
it is what it is.
We are balanced. You two are wonderful. Thank you. I just got to pull some teeth.
Thank you.
In about an hour, Minkah Fitzpatrick, the Steelers star, is going to join this exclusive fraternity, and you will see it live right here. So, without any further ado, it's time to get this show started. Here we go with the 2024 Super Bowl breakfast and the presentation of the Bart Starr Award.
Please welcome Las Vegas Raiders quarterback Aiden O'Connell.
Well, good morning. It's Super Bowl weekend, everybody, right here in Vegas. On behalf of the Las Vegas Raiders, I want to welcome you to the city of Las Vegas and Super Bowl 58. And on behalf of Athletes in Action, our host committee, and all of our sponsors, welcome to the 2024 Super Bowl breakfast. This morning you'll hear from players from both Super Bowl teams and some other NFL greats. And you'll see the presentation of the Bart Starr Award to a really good guy who uses his platform to make a difference. It's going to be a great morning. Thanks for being here. And now, welcome back to the stage, your MC for this morning, Akbar Baha Yamila.
Yeah, you don't need some work on that one. Now be honest, tell everybody, how long did you practice on the last name?
That was like my 50th try right there.
That was your 50th try? Okay. Next time I'll warm you up, but it's Akbar Oluwakemi Idowu Bajabiamila. You got it?
I got it. Noted.
That's probably longer than any of your football plays, I'm pretty sure. Good morning to you guys and everyone out there who are joining us on the live stream. This has been such an amazing event already. This is probably the largest crowd that I've ever seen at this event. So kudos to you guys for showing up in a big way. Okay, so Aiden is going to be joined by us by one other NFL player this morning, and I'd like to have him come up to the stage right now. So please say hello to Dallas Cowboys receiver Brandon Cooks. By the way, they didn't give you a walk-up music. That was on purpose because you paid for the Cowboys. Yeah. All right, so I've got some questions for you guys. We don't have to share the mic here, but I'm going to start off with you because I know you're a different AOC. But this is a cool season for you because, as a lot of people know, that you were thrown into the starting role 8 games into the season with a 5-4 start. That was you made 5 of 4 of those. You did an amazing job, but your teammates and your fans, they rallied behind you. How did that feel? What was that like?
Yeah, I think for a young player to have the support of their teammates, their coaches, administration, and then of a fan base is pretty amazing. And so, super lucky to have people rally around me. I definitely didn't deserve it, but very honored to be living out my dream, play quarterback in the NFL.
All right, now I got to ask you, what year were you born?
1998.
Okay. I asked that question for a specific reason. You're sporting a 1970s mustache. What inspired the mustache?
Yeah, believe it or not, it was my then girlfriend at the time, now wife, so I can't believe she married me, but it was her idea. Back in 2021, she just said randomly one day, I think you should grow the mustache, and I did, and here we are.
All right, okay, all right. Last question for me on this one. Your thoughts on your new head coach, Antonio Pierce. Give it up for Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, AP did a great job, obviously put in a tough spot last year and responded great. Definitely a leader of men. a guy that guys rally around in the locker room. And so it was awesome to see his success, and yeah, I think we're all happy he got hired.
All right. Over to you, Brandon. What is it like playing in Dallas? I mean, football is life there. Everybody knows the fans are passionate about the Cowboys, right?
No doubt. We got some fans in here, so shout out. But there we go. No, it's special. I mean, you talk about that star, it's worldwide. And, you know, Jerry knows what he's doing with Brandon. Our team, I got a lot of love for the guys that's in the locker room and our coaches. It's definitely a special place to play.
Okay, so I have another question. I asked him what year he was born. I just got to go. What is that, velvet? Well, I mean, you guys, are some of the best dressed guys on the planet. Do you guys have competition on who can swag out the most, the best?
I mean, no competition. I just, put on some clothes, keep it simple, and then keep it pushing.
Oh, hold on. So you just telling me you just woke up like this?
That's it. Yeah, no doubt about it.
I'm gonna call Cap on that because you guys know the day before he laid it out just like back to school, laid it out, put it together. Ooh, that's gonna hit. All right, you are a spokesperson for our presenting sponsor, He Gets Us. Now, why is that important to you?
It's important, because it gives me the ability to really, to share my faith in an authentic way. Everything Jesus has done for us and what he's doing, no doubt. Here we go. My faith is my foundation, and that's what it's all about. I try to build it on solid rock, and so to be able to be here in Vegas, being able to be a part of this and showing that love, to everyone around, no matter where you come from, your walk of life. I mean, it's the new Sodom and Gomorrah, so there's no better place to be able to profess the name of Jesus, no doubt about it.
Amen. Give it up for, Las Vegas Raiders, Aiden O'Connell, and Dallas Cowboys, Brandon Cooks. All right, so thank you guys again. Well, we're gonna get this thing going. So everybody, you guys ready for the Super Bowl? You guys ready? All right, now I gotta ask a question. How many of you guys think, or who do you think is gonna get the most attention this Super Bowl? How many of you guys think it's gonna be Mahomes? Okay, that's a little mid. How about McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey? Ooh, we got some Christian McCaffrey fans in here. How about Kittle, George Kittle? Okay. Travis Kelce? Oh, y'all just wait. Y'all just messed up my whole thing because I already know y'all about to go crazy. How about Taylor Swift? Yeah, we got the Swifties in here. All right, but what the game is really about is not about Taylor Swift. It's about the Chiefs. The Chiefs are playing in their 4th Super Bowl in the last 5 years, and they are looking for their 3rd championship over that span and 4th in franchise history. Now, the game is also about the San Francisco 49ers, and they're making their 8th Super Bowl appearance and are looking for their 6th championship, the first since 1994. That was before Aiden O'Connell was born. The storyline here, it's all about the rematch. The Chiefs beat the 49ers, if you remember, 31-20 in Super Bowl 53, just 5 years ago, and start their great run. And you guys know the Niners, they want revenge. It should be a great matchup, but before we get to the kickoff, we have a great morning in store for you guys. And fortunately, I won't be hosting this alone. Please say hello to my co-host, longtime sportscaster, the talented Sage Steele.
Hi.
All right.
Good morning. Okay, this is rare.
Yes.
Can we just stand shoulder to shoulder?
Oh, okay. That I'm taller than you?
Yeah, my point is, this is nice. I used to be told back in the day, some certain jobs ago, they're like, can you not wear those 4-inch heels? Because the guys you're standing next to feel a little bit intimidated. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all right.
So much.
God gave me this.
I got the big girl heels. I got the hair. Yeah. Yours looks great.
Thank you.
By the way.
All right.
When did that happen?
26. Thank you for bringing that up.
Age 26?
Age 26. Why you hating on me? You hair shaming me. You got the beautiful curls.
Because he's so much younger than me, I got to find something. This is an honor actually to be here with him. How talented is this man?
Thank you so much.
Amazing. No.
And I've watched you for a long time, so.
Because I'm so much older than him. That's the point. I know.
Yeah.
That's before half of these people were born.
Yeah.
But I think the last time I saw you in person, I think it was Super Bowl in New Orleans.
Yep.
And you were doing your thing.
Yes, that's right.
That was Ravens-Niners.
Yeah, that was.
I believe. Yes.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, and it was a great Super Bowl. We had a great time. That was the first time I had a chance. I said an icon. So, but by the way, prompter, we do need a little bit of room here so we can get the rest of the script in.
Although I know what I'm about to say here because you brought up Taylor Swift a second ago. Are you a Swiftie?
You know what? I'm a new Swiftie because I've got daughters, and I just went to her first concert down at SoFi Stadium. So
I heard that was amazing.
On.
Did anybody else go to that? Any of her concerts? Yes.
Anybody? Okay. All right. A couple people. Yeah,
like
they all fronting. They all fronting.
There's
you know.
one. It's okay. Here's the thing. There's been so much talk about it, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what does it mean? If we have more viewers, especially young girls like me, because back in the day, in the early 70s and 80s when I didn't have any other girlfriends who were watching and who could name all the stats of all the football players and the position and the why behind it. So whatever it takes to continue to bring your daughters, your granddaughters, your sisters in to love this game, I say bring it.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
And my daughters are going to be watching this Super Bowl for the very first time because they want to see Taylor Swift. So it's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. But you can admit it, you're a Swiftie.
Yeah, I'm a Swiftie. Just
Okay.
shake it off. I'm
Okay,
shaking it off. I don't care. All the haters, they're going to say, oh, Akbar's a Swiftie. Yeah, I'm a Swiftie.
On Monday night, our team had a chance to talk to Brock and other players and coaches from both teams about the big game. Take a look.
This is a well-coached football team. So, we're going to have to play a phenomenal game to deal with them. And I'm sure you feel probably the same way, and that's what this is all about. So, I look forward to that challenge. I think our team does, because in this business, it's competition.
Every team's different. There's a few differences, but the main thing is to get to this point, you got to have a great offense, a great defense, a great special teams.
Coming to this game the second time in 3 years is something short of incredible, and I got to give God all the honor and glory.
It's going to be a intense mentality. Focused 4 quarters. It's going to be mean.
My mindset, just breathe in, enjoy the entire show, and go play your best on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm proud of the guys because no matter what the outside world said, they still believe and they still worked hard and they strive to be great. And that's all you can ask for is guys that I see the talent. I know they can make the plays, and if you continue to work at it every single day, your fortunes are going to turn, and that's what's happened.
Something I wanted to do since I was a kid, obviously, and to finally be here and have this opportunity with such a great team means everything.
By the way, that media night, that is an experience to be at. I mean, you've been there not as a player.
Okay, I never played in a Super Bowl, okay? All right. Yes, but no, media day, I have been there in the media capacity, and it is crazy. Everybody's everywhere. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, you kind of have to be ready to box people out. And by the way, I was not giving you a hard time. When I talked to Anthony Munoz and work done a little bit earlier as the live stream began, I think one thing people don't fully appreciate is how difficult it is to get, not to win, I mean, just to get there.
Right.
And people can play 15, 20 years, so you're good.
Yeah, okay,
you're
all
fine.
right, all right.
You're kicking me out?
Yeah, I'm kicking you out, but thank you, Sage. Give it up for Sage Steele.
Well, I'm not done.
No.
I mean, I'm not
You'll be
leaving.
back. No, you'll be back. I know you have an interview that you have to get ready for, right?
So I'm allowed to come.
You're gonna come back as long as you don't talk about my hair or not playing the Super Bowl.
Okay, I'm good.
All right. Now, as you guys might know, hearing from John Lynch, both of these franchises have great people at the top. The Chiefs, who have won 8 straight division titles and have played for the conference championship in the past 6 years, have become dynasty-like. And Clark Hunt, who is the chairman and CEO of the Chiefs, he joins me now to talk about the amazing run. All right, so I got to get the first question out the way. You're not ready for this, but this is just breaking news from TMZ. I hear Taylor Swift wants part ownership into the Chiefs. Is this true?
I wouldn't be surprised, and she totally deserves it.
Okay, all right. You know, you're back in the Super Bowl for the 4th time in the last 5 seasons. How have you kept all of this going at such a high level, and are you getting used to this?
Well, I don't think you ever get used to it. Every trip to the Super Bowl is a special experience, and we're so excited to be here in Las Vegas, Nevada this weekend, and looking forward to a great game on Sunday. Having sustained success is really the hardest thing in the National Football League, and the way that we've been able to accomplish it is through our great leadership. It starts with Andy Reid, our general manager, Brett Veach, our president, Mark Donovan, and that guy named Patrick Mahomes. He's pretty special, too. The four of them are unbelievable and really deserve the credit for getting the Chiefs back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, now I can't see, but can you just come a little closer? You're like blinding me. Like, just if you could just come in a little closer. In the hood where I'm from, this is called a jack move. So I'm about to jack you real quick. Shanana. Hallelujah. Okay, here you go. I'm going to return that. I don't want to do this in the house of the Lord, stealing somebody's ring. But you held the trophy that's been your dad's name 2 weeks ago as AFC champs. It's the 4th time you've done so. How meaningful is that for you? And of course, this was the first time your mom was not a part of that celebration. What were your emotions like?
Well, anytime we get to receive the trophy that has my dad's name on it, it's so special. We went many years without ever winning that trophy. I remember going to AFC championship games with my dad so that he could present the trophy to the winning team. So 4 years ago when we had that first chance to hold the Lamar Hunt trophy, it was a special, special moment for us. And each time that we win it is the same. You mentioned my mother, and we're definitely thinking a lot about her this week. She was an unbelievable person. She was my dad's soulmate, so much a part of the history of the National Football League. The two of them attended the first 40 Super Bowls together. And when my dad was ill 17 years ago, he grabbed me and my brother and he said, "Look, keep your mother's Super Bowl streak alive." And we were able to do that for another 17 years, and it, of course, culminated with her being at Super Bowl 57 last year to see her Chiefs win the championship one more time. We miss her. Special woman, and we're going to think a lot about her this weekend.
Yeah. You know, you have a special connection to the late Bart Starr, who beat your dad's Chiefs in Super Bowl I. Talk about why the award we present each year is so special to you.
Well, I had the opportunity to get to know Bart across 20-plus years, primarily through attending this breakfast. And what an incredible gentleman. Of course, we all know what an amazing player he was, but he was also a person of tremendous character and integrity, tremendous faith. Getting to know he and his beautiful wife, Sherry, which is so special for our family. What a great example. He truly stands for what is best about the National Football League.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Clark Hunt. Joining us this morning to celebrate the legacy of the great Jim Thorpe are his granddaughters, Anita and Mary Thorpe, and Hall of Fame coach Tony Dungy, along with Nedra Darling. All right, Coach, Jim Thorpe's life and career have special meaning to you. Tell us about that and why that is.
Yeah, I was a middle schooler, maybe 11 years old, and I had to do a project on a famous person that I didn't know. My mom and dad knew that I loved athletics, and they said, "You ought to research this guy named Jim Thorpe." And I didn't really know who he was. I did my project on him, and I found out that, man, he was what I wanted to be. He was good in baseball. He was good in football. He could run. He could jump. He could do everything. And from then on, I wanted to be Jim Thorpe. And when I read that they took his medals from him, I just cried. I was like 11 years old. How could they do that? And I just really, from then on, just got to really admire this man for what he had done. And of course, years later, the NCAA names the defensive back of the year after Jim Thorpe. I've got a son out here, Justin, who is going to be a freshman in college next year. He's a cornerback, and he wants to win the Jim Thorpe Award.
Put it out there. Put it out there.
That's the impact that he's had.
Well, Coach, I'm going to let you take it away from here.
All right. Well, I'm here with Jim Thorpe's granddaughters, Anita and Mary, and a special person, Nedra, who actually represents them as well. And I'd like to know from you guys, what did it feel like when you first found out how famous and how awesome your granddad was?
Well, I'll start. Good morning, everybody. My name is Anita Thorpe, and Mary and I, we're from the state of Oklahoma, and it's where Jim Thorpe was born. And I grew up in Shawnee, Oklahoma, and that was near his birthplace. And if you ever get a chance to be in Oklahoma, please stop by and visit his birthplace. And to stand on a dirt road and to look over a field and to imagine Jim Thorpe becoming the greatest athlete in the world is something for everybody to see and witness. And I go there often and stand on that field and just imagine from humble beginnings to stardom. And so Tony asked, you know, when did I first learn? I might have been 4 or 5 years old. It's probably one of my earliest memories of just people coming up and saying, are you related to the Jim Thorpe? And I would say proudly, yes, he's my grandfather. And
Amen.
Amen. Yes.
How did it make you guys feel when you learned not just what he accomplished, but how special a man he was?
Well, I think he was well-rounded altogether. You know, it takes spirituality. It takes well-rounded in your moral values, you know, how you grew up, who you grew up with. He had a strong family background. Yeah.
Let me ask you this too. How important was he to the tribal nations?
Well, not only for his tribe, the Sac-a-Fox Nation of Oklahoma, but for all Native Americans and for all minorities, I would say. You know, it was a long and tough battle during the 1912 and the early 1917s when he was playing football and track in what a time was. It was difficult, you know, for all different people of, yes, different nationalities.
Different nationalities.
Yes.
Yeah. I mentioned I cried when I read the story of them taking his Olympic medals from him. Tell us about when they got returned and restored. How did that make you feel?
It was amazing. I got to go over to Sweden, and I got to go over there and experience and be in the stadium that he was at. And just the vibe that was in that stadium was, I mean, it gives me goosebumps to this day. It was a proud moment. It was very proud for the family and, you know, just for my grandfather to be able to get those medals back and, you know, his acknowledgement of what he has done and achieved in his lifetime. It was a big deal for the family and Indian country in general, you know, a big thing.
And we've got some leaders from the tribal nations here, and we're so happy that they're here to help support you guys. And if anyone wants to continue and find out a little bit more, I think there is going to be upstairs, I believe. After it's over, you'll have a chance to gather and get together. But thank you for coming out and supporting this whole movement. Joining Anita and Mary today is Nedra Darling, and Nedra is the co-founder of the Bright Path Strong, a nonprofit organization. They're producing a movie called Thorpe. And could you tell us a little bit about that, Nedra?
I hope you have a couple of hours. Thank you so much for inviting us here, and I want to congratulate the athletes in action for, especially Corin, because that's who we've worked closely with, but everybody, because bringing Jim Thorpe and honoring him today with you and this special Super Bowl breakfast is just, it's why we're here. Jim Thorpe. Jim Thorpe has brought us together.
What will people be able to enjoy when they watch the movie?
Well, our organization started, we started with the movie first, and I didn't do that. And I've got a couple of people, if you could just stand. Abraham Taylor is a creator, producer on the film, as well as Josh Aker, and I know they're here somewhere. There's a lot of people here right now, but you're gonna learn a lot. Abraham, I'm just gonna tell your story. Abraham started this all about Pop Warner, and the more he dug into the story and met with tribal people and read more about Jim, it was like, wow, this story is really about Jim Thorpe. And thank goodness he realized that, because as a young person growing up, I'm distantly related to Jim Thorpe on his mother's side. I'm Prairie Band Potawatomi. She was Citizen Potawatomi. So I'm like a, I don't know, 17th, 18th, I don't know, cousin. But Jim had a lot of relatives, so check your genealogy. You never know. But I grew up knowing Jim in my household. He was like, there's 4 children than myself, 12 years later. And I heard stories about Jim and my dad. During the Depression, they lived in California. Their fathers grew up with my older brothers and sisters. I was babysat by Grace Thorpe. I mean, it was like, who is this man? And I do remember being in school and being asked to write who my hero was. And I wrote, of course, about Jim Thorpe. And I had firsthand knowledge in my household. Took it to school, and the teacher pulled me over and she said, I'm going to have to give you a bad grade on this. And I said, why? And she said, Jim Thorpe was not a hero. He was a loser. And I said, that is not true. That is not true. These are the things that go on when we don't tell the truth.
Amen.
This is what happens. And I think through all that we've done, through Bright Path Strong, our organization, we've been there with the Creator. The Creator is with us on this mission. And that mission was to, 1, the medals were returned in 1982, but they didn't give him his winning records back. Can you imagine giving the medals back and staying on records? You're still number 2. So one of the things we wanted to do after the movie was to get his records straight. And that's why we created the nonprofit. And we were able to do that with all of the help of people like yourself, people all over the world, and I just can't thank you enough, all of you. So then now, with that in mind, we went to the movie, and it is going to be the absolute truth. And it started with Jim on the football field as he went back to Carlisle and created this, they wanted him to do just track and field, and he looked at that football and said, I'm doing that football next. And he jumped over Pop Warner on some other things, and he got in there and he won several games. And it's a beautiful story. We are near production. We have had the blessing of some tribes, 10 of our tribes. I don't know if they're in the audience or not, bless you. You know who you are, go on our website and see them. They actually fronted our development money to where we are today. We have an amazing script. We have producers. We have a director named Tracy Deere, a Mohawk woman. We're Native-led, but we have everybody supporting us. And I hope this group will support us in our efforts going forward. We need to get into production, and we need financing. But I'm not going to pitch that here, Corwin. I said I wasn't going to do that. But no, the story is, it's your story. It's our story.
It's our story.
It's our story. And for you athletes out there, know that you are special. You are blessed to have the skills you have. Use them in your community. I'm a big lacrosse fan. I advise, I'm fortunate enough to be the advisor for the Haudenosaunee Nationals. And we have a thing we say, we can get world peace through sport, and we're gonna do it. And I know all of you have heard your testimonies today. I've heard them meeting each of you. It's gonna happen, and it won't happen without you. And thank God for Jim Thorpe. Thank God for our people that are here resilient. We fight every day to be represented, and we're gonna be together, all together one day.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. Well, thank you. I know you guys have one last thing that you want to do, a special presentation, so I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, I'm going to ask Corwin Anthony to come up, please. And a very
And
special
also
football player,
Minkah Fitzpatrick.
And, yeah. And Ed Hall, will you please come up and bring the blankets up? Yeah.
This is off script here. I know you don't know what's coming, but this is going to be fantastic.
Sorry. We have a tradition in Indian country, and that is, this was a huge gift, and we're giving back. And we're going to do it right here in front of all of you. And thank you. Bless you for your patience. And we're waiting on Steve. Do you have the blankets back there?
He's coming.
No. Oh, take them out of the box. Oh, jeez. So, Minkah, we're going to blanket you first. This has been blessed. It's been tobaccoed the right way. Indian people in the audience know what I'm talking about. It's hard to do these things in these big cities and hotels, okay, but we did it. And we want you to have this carry with you the pride, the grace, the compassion, and the love that you need on that field and off the field, and your skills. We're going to wrap this around you to protect you also.
And you guys really don't know how special this is because this young man at University of Alabama was actually a Jim Thorpe Award winner. So he won the award named after your grandfather.
He looks pretty good with Thorpe, doesn't he? Scoot down just a little bit so they can get a good shot. Come over here, Corin. Corin's really afraid of me for some reason. I don't know why. You know, we had a call, and it was through Ed Hall's relatives, and I think they're here at tables too, the Hall family. So hello, thank you. In Indian country, we have what's called the Moccasin Telegraph, and that's how we came here today. Corwin asked, somebody said, I really want to do something for Jim Thorpe to honor him today, or at the Super Bowl breakfast today. Well, it started, and Ed got to me because he knows we're working on the Thorpe movie, and I just want to thank you because you've been touched by the Creator so many times, but to touch us all and once together to here in this room, to honor Jim, it's just so special. So we want to give you this gift to continue your path forward and remembering everybody and bring their attention to them. Thank you for that, because Jim he was the first NFL football president, but he was also the first person to integrate football. Native Americans and black athletes.
Thank you very much. And now we're going to turn it back over to Akbar by Jabir Miller.
Amazing. Hello again. It's not Akbar, it's me. You're stuck with me. And not me, actually. The three ladies entering the stage now are absolutely incredible, and I cannot wait for you to meet them. Wait, okay, wherever you want, right here, but don't sit until I say your name. Okay. On that note, say hello to the lovely Kim Singletary. Recognize the last name? We've heard of your husband before. That guy, Mike, he won this award in 1991 a minute ago, so we're gonna get to know Kim here. You may sit now, thank you. Next up, the wife of Troy Vincent, who received the award in 2005. She's not just the wife of Troy, this is Tommy Vincent. Welcome. And Benjamin Watson, the most recent award winner of these ladies. When was it? 2018, so just a couple of years ago. Kirsten Watson, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is an honor to get to do this. What did I do? Oh, microphones. An honor to get to do this segment, really, because yes, I said the wives of, but they are their own women. Strong, beautiful women who, yes, are so supportive of their husbands and also incredible mothers. But I think there's so many things that you all do on a daily basis that I'd love if you could share a little bit. First and foremost, though, we were talking backstage about the number of children that these women have birthed, and it is impressive. You want to start?
We have 7 kids.
Singletaries have 7 kids and
almost 15 grandkids.
I know. Wait, say this louder. Louder.
14 and a half grandchildren.
Okay, when is number 15 due?
May.
May. And how many boys, girls?
Oh.
That's a hard question, isn't it? I'm sorry.
Well, we have 5 girls and 2 boys. I always say we pretty much raised the Kardashians because all the drama.
All the drama.
And I think we have
I'm glad you
more
clarified
yes,
that part.
yes, yeah. More girl grandbabies than boys, but I don't know the count right now.
That is amazing. 7 and 14 and a half. Great.
Right.
Tommy?
So Troy and I have 5 children, 3 boys, 2 girls, and we also have 9 grandchildren and 1 on the way next month.
9 and a half or 9 3/4. Can we go with that? That is amazing. Kirsten?
Okay, well, we don't have grandkids yet, but we have 7 kids, 4 to 15 are the ages.
4 to 15. And one of the things I'll say is, yes, I was going to say 15, if you're a grandmother with a 15, or no, not yet. Your social media is incredible. And I love the fact that you have documented so much and we've been able to see, and when were the twins born?
They were born in 2019.
2019.
Mm-hmm. We refer to them as Typhoon and Tornado, or Asher and Levi's by birth name, but they are a lot.
They're a lot, and somehow she is still smiling as beautiful as ever. I'd like to, maybe since you were most recent with Benjamin winning this award in 2018, what was that like for you when you heard that he got the nod? He was the guy that they voted on.
Yeah, I think that what's interesting in the world of football is that oftentimes it is what you do on the field. Because it's very easy to see. You know, you see when you make a play, you see when you make a touchdown, you see when you have a great tackle, but oftentimes it's the families that know who he is. And so one thing we always did, Benjamin played 16 years, was we made football what he did, not who he was. And so I knew of him as this person that met these qualifications, so to speak, of having good character and a person of integrity, a person of order. Like we serve a God of order, where he says, I'm first, your spouse is second, and everything else comes after that. So I knew that he was a hard worker on the field, but being able to be recognized for the man that he is and for the person that God created him was really a great honor to see.
Absolutely. And Tommy, I think maybe that's one of the things, right, is that you see it, you live it, you witness it every single day, but not everybody else does. And I know how proud all three of you are of what they've done, and maybe more importantly, how they've done it. But when Troy got that call, what did he say? Were you there? What was that experience?
So when Troy received the award, of course, as his wife and partner in life, I was not surprised because Troy lives outwardly also how he conducts himself in our home. So it was not a surprise that he received the award. And I personally am always grateful when Troy is acknowledged publicly, because there's a lot of things that take place privately that people don't get the opportunity to experience and see. And so for me, I'm grateful that it was given to him, as well as, you know, just being able to be honored for your relationship with Jesus Christ is a powerful thing. So.
And also, you know, I feel like there's been such growth where people now, athletes now, are more comfortable talking about that and how important their faith is to them. But maybe even back then, being vocal about it. Don't you agree? Not everybody was then. I feel like now maybe the Troy Vincents and Mike Singletary's and Benjamin Watsons of the world have helped some of these other players be more vocal.
So I can't speak for every place where everybody has been, but all of the teams that Troy played with, there were guys who were very open about their faith, and we are not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and the people that we surrounded ourselves with were not either. So I think that I believe that people that know him, when I say him, I'm referring to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, they don't walk hidden, they're light. And so that was never an issue for us.
Yeah. You know, I think a lot of us, especially as parents, maybe struggle at times with social media. I do believe that is one positive, is that it has gotten out there so much more. Maybe that's just the difference in the evolution with everything being out there and it's immediate, right? And so now we can, and our kids can watch that as well. No matter what platform they're on, they see these athletes able to be more vocal about it in that space too. So maybe that's why it feels a little bit different and really, really good. I remember when I met your husband for the first time, and he came out of nowhere to be the linebackers coach of the Baltimore Ravens, right? And I loved that he always wore that cross at practice everywhere, the wooden cross. Can you talk about when Mike found out when he got that award, and what? Again, it's his name, but this is a joint award. What that meant to you as well?
It was honestly, it was such a. The meaning of it, the depth of the meaning of it, really didn't dawn on me until when he made the Hall of Fame, and we met Bart and Sherry, and it just, you knew how special these people are, and then it just meant so much more that they saw Mike in that same light. So I was just even more thankful later, if that makes sense, just getting to know them.
Absolutely. I think during the seasons, it's such a grind for all of them, and physically, absolutely, for the players, for the coaches. How did you balance? See, one of the words I do hate is balance, right? Oh, you agree? Because it's the work-life balance. Balance to me means equal.
It's not a thing.
It's not a thing, thank you. Let's talk more about this, right? Balance to me connotates something that's equal and perfect. And we will agree, especially with 62 kids between all of you, that there's no such thing as perfection, right? So what was that like? What did you do to get through? Because it isn't just the schedule and the organization with children, it's the pressure. And you're taking care of yourselves and trying to make sure that they are at their best when they go to work.
I think I'll say for us, it was a learning process. And I think when you come into a marriage, any marriage takes work. Any marriage is very difficult at times and has ups and downs and ebbs and flows. And I think you learn what makes you work along the way. And so for us, it was, okay, well, we know during the season this is the requirement. And so what else has to happen? What else has to take place? What else has to get done? And for me, I mean, I always say Benjamin still had, even in the season, he still had a day that he came home and made dinner Because why? Because it's like he's still dad. He's still my husband. He's still a family person. So he was in charge of baths. And so I think you have to figure out how your relationship works. There's no one size fits all. And that's the beauty of how God made us, right? We're in his image, but he's given us certain gifts and talents that we're able to display within the marriage. And so while he was playing, like, I'm really good at organization. So it kind of like naturally fit that, you know, I could organize what had to be done. But I do think throughout our time, what happens is I think we come into this and you have an idea of what you think you should be doing, you know, and I think with football, we are moving with the family. We decided to move wherever he moved for 16 seasons with all 7 of our children. And so there's times there where I was like, Lord, is this all I'm gonna do? Like move and change diapers and sing Wheels on the Bus? Lord, I am smart. I am smart. I have a degree. And you know, it was in those times that the Lord was like, hey, listen, remember David? Remember, he was a shepherd, and he was, you know, his brothers were doing things that were maybe, you know, what you wanted to do, fighting in the wars. He says, everything I was preparing David for, what I had him doing was preparing him for something else. And I think that's what the Lord spoke in those times that were difficult in the season. It was like, you know, Kirsten, you feel like you're just doing this, but I'm preparing you for something that you have no idea what's next. And so once I was able to receive that, I walked in those seasons differently.
That's a beautiful thing. I do believe this, though. You speak so freely with it now. It is a choice. It is a choice that all 3 of you made specifically to stay rooted there, which does not mean it's always easy either. Is there a time that any of you would like to share where you had to kind of dig deep? And then I think sometimes it's hindsight. We can look back and say, okay, that hurt. That wasn't fun, but look at what came from it. Was there any time that you can think of, Tommy, that was tough, but sunshine on the other side?
So anyone in here who's married, marriage can be tough. So we're not an anomaly in the possibilities of that being the case. Life is tough, that's a fact. However, we know that Jesus is a present help in the time of trouble. And I think that that's the difference when life is hard, when we are faced with challenges in any degree, at any level, that our mindset is very different, because we know that we are able to find comfort and strength in knowing him. And when I think about challenging times, and I'll speak specifically towards when Troy played, because he's now in a greater role in regards to the National Football League and his role and responsibility as the executive vice president of the National Football League for football operations. So now we're at a new level of toughness. However, the part that would have been challenging was my ability to love him the way he needed to be loved when there were so many people who didn't love him. Because I know my man. And I wanted to make sure that he was receiving what he needed, so every day he had the strength and the courage to get back up and do the things that we knew he was called to do and what God chose him for. So for me, that was the toughest part of all of this, because I had home. Because he and I were brought together for a reason and a purpose, and I am his helpmeet. So what he didn't have, I have. And what he has that I don't, it all comes together.
This is the last question, and I would like each of you to answer. And it just came to me, so I'm not trying to throw it on you last second. But number one, I do know how supportive all 3 of your husbands have been to you as women, as mothers, in doing whatever else you'd like to do that's about you as well, because it's overwhelming with families and career. And you do, I think we're learning more and more, we need to take that time for ourselves. They've been supportive. On that note, though, I want you to be honest. What are you most proud of how you 3 handled life in the NFL? For however long your careers were different, but what are you most proud of for you? Not your husband, not your kids. Who wants to start?
I can start. You know, Mike and I started at Baylor, and we're old. That was like in the end of the 70s. and the early 80s, and it was not popular to have a biracial relationship. And not only was it not popular, it was a little bit of a problem. And, you know, we never let that be a thing between us. It was an external thing. And I am so proud of how we've navigated not only our own relationship, but I set out to have, I don't know why, I think it's something that the Lord just put in my heart. I want to contribute good, God-fearing kids to this world. And that was a plan. And early in our marriage, we would visit prisons, and there was a time where we were talking to young people. And, you know, the guys had this fabulous testimony, and then one of the kids just like, I want to hear from you, and I was not prepared. And I said, oh, you know, I'm thinking, I don't have a good testimony, but I just said, you know, I just wanted to always be a good mom, and I wanted my kids to respect me. And he started bawling, and he said, the fact that you wanted your kids speaks to me. And I thought something that simple. So that I'm proud of. I'm proud of how hard we have worked in our relationship to not let external forces change us. And I'm proud of the contribution that we have made to the world with our family.
I know. What do you do? We weren't supposed to give that good of an answer. How many years married?
Almost 40. Almost 40.
Long time. Beautiful. Congratulations. Miss Tommy?
I'm most proud of my body of work. And when I say my body of work, I spent a great deal of my time sewing into my husband and into my children. And there was a point in time where, like when you're talking about your value and your smartness, your intelligence, and I questioned where I was in life and what I had accomplished. And God sat me down and he ministered to me about my body of work. So when you see Troy, you see me. When you see my children, you see me. That is my body of work. And it is a formal thing, and it is Vincent Country, and our three pillars are our faith, our family, and our food. That is my body of work. I'm very proud of that.
Our family, and our food. Do you want to just follow up on the food part?
I was about to say, that was the part I wanted to hear, definitely.
So I'm a chef. That's one thing that I do. It's not who I am, it's one thing I do. I am a chef, and so the food piece, the table was extremely important to us in our time moving in life together. I believe that there's so much power sitting at the table, having dinner as a family. It's our opportunity to do our pulse checks with one another, because you never know when someone needs resuscitation, but you need to be able to look them in the eye and speak to them to know what that truth is and where they are in their life.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Miss Watson.
Oh man, I would wholeheartedly agree with those. I feel like there's not much to add. But for me, I just know that the Bible talks about knowing its plant by its fruit. And I think about my husband, I think about my kids, and I also think about the young men and women that we had an opportunity to minister to for 16 years in a locker room. And now being 3 years out, you realize, you look back and you say, man, I had an opportunity to be authentic, to be real, to be transparent, and to lead people to Christ. And so you never know what that ripple will be. But I'm most proud of being obedient, because I really wanted our NFL career to be much shorter than 16 years. And I would say that if he was here, but he's watching the kids. But I was really, there was a lot of the NFL that I just was, it was very tough. And I think what I'm most proud of is being obedient in the moment that I was called to. I didn't know what was ahead. We knew it was behind, but in that moment, I was obedient to doing what I was asked to do by the Lord. And so I think because of that, I now see little buds of fruit when I see other men and women that are playing, that we had an opportunity to be with, and that I will be proud of.
Absolutely, and those are the things, those are the behind the scenes things that, by the way, don't just end when the season ends, right? And those relationships are built, and then you, I believe, are being such a beautiful example for the other young wives who, to show them how to lead and how to uplift each other when, again, so much of the spotlight tends to be on their husbands. So, what a blessing it is for those babies to call you mama, lots of babies, lots of grandbabies, and for your husbands to call you their wives. It is an absolute blessing to have met you, and to, I think, for everyone in this room, and hopefully live streaming, and if you can watch it 100 more times, listen to what they're saying. These are the difference makers, and I know your husbands agree. Thank you for being so honest and open. We needed this. Thank you. I won't put you on the spot too much longer, but when you say, I get him, what does that mean?
You know, we've just gone through so much together, and there's just such a depth. So somebody could write the words or help him write the words, but I know all the other stuff behind it, and I have a gift for writing, so I reluctantly thought, maybe I need to do this. Jesus is bossy. So, yeah, that's what I mean.
It is beautiful. It is a beautiful love story rooted in faith. Thank you. Thank you, Kim, for sharing. And congratulations, 40 years and a bunch more grandbabies to come. Thank you. God bless. Akbar's back. Thank you.
All right. Mike Singletary was the third Bart Starr Award winner, but I am now joined by the second recipient, Hall of Famer Anthony Munoz, who is, of course, regarded as one of the greatest offensive tackle to play the game. Anthony.
Thanks for letting me do that.
All right, that was straight to the chest. It actually hurt. All right, you played a very long time in the NFL, and I felt that I never had the chance to play against you, but I felt that. Oh,
I'm sorry.
Oh, there we go. All right. Dang. Can we throw a flag for that one? Jeez.
Akbar, you have to understand, when that arm came out and you exposed that chest, I'm not going to turn down charity.
Oh, man. But, you know, you played a very long time in the league. Of course, you're the second one. 1990, you win that Bart Starr Award. What was that like?
Wow. It was like, wow. So I had the opportunity, my first 4 years in the NFL, my head coach protected Bart Starr. Forrest Gregg, Hall of Fame offensive lineman. So I knew about the great Green Bay Packer teams, and of course, getting to know Bart and who he was as a person. And then all of a sudden, receiving his award was amazing, because a man, not only great on the football field, winning the first couple of Super Bowls, a great leader, but the man of character and faith and family man. And to win an award that carries his name and the meaning of the award, it wasn't, you know, Pro Bowler or Offensive Lineman of the Year. It was who you are with your family and the community and amongst your teammates, and that's why it's so special.
Yeah, you know, you learned a lot. You played, 13 seasons in the NFL. What were some of the things that you took from the NFL that carried you on to life after football?
Well, I think the regiment that we're in, promptness, being on time. Forrest Gregg played for Vince Lombardi, so if your meeting was at 1 o'clock and you weren't there by 1:45, you were late.
Yeah.
So getting places early. And a lot of times we get asked to do something, and athletes have a tendency to kind of show up. Maybe if you're there, supposed to start at 1, you show up at 12:59. I'm one that gets there at 12:15 and people look at me like, what are you doing here? I say, well, I just want to be here and check it out and get to know people. So just the discipline of the regiment. You know, it's like if you're committed to do something, you find a way. And it's like, I try to find a way to be the best. And of course, listening to these ladies up here is amazing because I've been blessed 46 years coming here in April with my best friend, Dee Dee, and we've learned together. And my soulmate got married my sophomore year in college, and so, like I said, 46 years. And those are the things football taught me, was to be disciplined, to take criticism. I mean, we take it right away, right? It's not, if you do bad in the game, you're not going to get a week to get. So it's really shown me a lot about life and being there, being on time, and being loyal. Hopefully you trust me when we're doing something to me. That left guard had to trust me that I was going to be ready to perform on Sunday. Boomer Esiason had to trust when he was dropping back that a big guy, a fast guy like you wasn't going to be laying on top of him after the play. So I'm just thankful that I had a chance to play in the NFL and learn a lot of great qualities that have carried over into my life.
Yeah, and as you've lived with this honor for 30 years, what has the significance been for you back then and today?
Well, I think, first of all, being included in this amazing fraternity of winners. I mean, Mike Singletary, Steve Largent, Reggie White, Kirk Cousins, now Minkah Fitzpatrick. What a great, great fraternity. But really what it's meant is the consistency and commitment to excellence, the accountability of our lives. And that's one of the prayers that Dee Dee and I do pretty much on a daily basis. Lord, let us finish strong. Let us not compromise your truth. And that's kind of what we are with the Bart Starr Award. It's commitment, it's responsibility, and that's what I love about it.
Thank you so much. Give it up one more time for Mr. Anthony Munoz.
Well, that gives you a little picture of Bart Starr, the player, Bart Starr, the man. I want to talk about the Bart Starr Award now. As John Lynch mentioned in the video, the award is given every year to an NFL player, and that player is selected by his peers, by the rest of the players in the NFL. And it's not for accolades on the field. It's the best representation of character and leadership, first in the home, then on the field, and in the community. Now, unfortunately, due to health issues, Cherry Starr, Bart's wife, and Bart Jr. were not able to be here today. But I know they are watching via live stream. Cherry and Bart, we miss you both tremendously, and we hope you're here next year. Well, we've got a few people that want to say congratulations to Minkah. We have a couple of past winners who want to congratulate you, and these two guys probably don't need an introduction.
Good morning to all of you. We hope you're enjoying the Super Bowl breakfast.
This event is a special one and a great tradition for so many of you within the larger football community. And the opportunity to recognize a member of our community with the Bart Starr Award is a big part of that.
It's an incredible award, Eli, and it meant a lot to both of us, I know, to receive it. First, because you were selected for your character. Second, because you're chosen by your peers. And third, because of the man whose name is on the trophy. Bart was such a great friend to our family and made a tremendous impact on our sport.
So many awards reflect what you accomplished on the field. This is about the kind of person that you are. It's truly an honor to be part of the group of individuals recognized previously with this award.
And now we get the opportunity to honor another great individual.
Yep, and he's a defensive back, Peyton.
Eli, you know how much it pains me to say those two things in the same sentence. Great person and defensive back.
I hear you, but this guy really is a great guy and a great player. Minkah Fitzpatrick from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
In just 5 seasons in the league, he's been a 3-time first-team All-Pro and 3-time Pro Bowler.
He's had 19 interceptions and has returned 4 of them for touchdowns. Only the 4th player in NFL history to have 4 pick sixes in his first 5 years.
Eli, you were still in the league when he came in. Were any of those pick sixes against you?
Come on, Pate. No, of course not. But watching this guy make plays, I'm glad that I'm retired.
In addition to his impressive play on the field, he's also a man of character who is committed to impacting children and youth.
Through his Unshackled Foundation, he's helping foster youth and young adults. It is such a great cause.
Congratulations, Minkah. Well deserved, pal.
Congrats, Minkah, and thank all of you for your support today.
All right, those were two former winners on tape that couldn't be here this morning, but we are very, very fortunate and blessed to have four previous winners here with us live, and they're here to help us present their award too. You already heard from Anthony Munoz, Mike Singletary, Darryl Green, and Warwick Dunn. Great to have you guys with us. Well, this is normally the time when I would share a few words about the award winner and tell you how special Minkah Fitzpatrick is, but today we have someone who's a little bit closer to Minkah than I am and who knows him a little bit better, and we are just honored to have as the presenter today, head coach of the Steelers, Mike Tomlin.
Man, good morning. What a blessing and honor to be here, particularly because of that young man sitting before me. But man, I am never surprised by God's greater plan. I'm just always ready to receive it. And so I've been laughing to myself throughout this banquet because very early in my coaching career, I was looking for clarity, inspiration. And I read everything that could provide some insight about me perfecting my vision in terms of the things that I wanted to do with young people and for young people through the game of football. And I sought out this book on Pop Warner because, you know, I knew Pop Warner because we all played Pop Warner football, but I didn't really know the story. And so I got this book about the Carlisle Indians and so forth, and it's just so funny to come in here today because I started on this journey to gain some inspiration and clarity about a vocation that I was interested in pursuing and learning about Pop Warner. And I really learned with great detail about Jim Thorpe. But that is our profession, you know. The players are the product, we're the source, man. We desire to help players, whether it's football or life or what have you. And it's just truly an honor to do it. And much like Pop Warner, I discovered, you know, his inspiration and passion was, you know, helping and highlighting the special talents and the character of a gentleman like Jim Thorpe, man. I get the honor and privilege every day of being components of the lives of some very dynamic people. A couple nights ago, we recognized Cam Hayward with the Walter Payton Man of the Year. And man, this morning is Minkah Fitzpatrick. You know, it is not my style to be at a Super Bowl site, to be quite honest with you, unless I'm working. I'm leaving here and going directly to the airport. But this man, Minkah Fitzpatrick, is so deserving of this recognition. I would not miss this. I read the description of what this award embodies. A man of high character, values, integrity, and leadership on and off the field. And it could have just said Minkah Fitzpatrick. I've had the pleasure of being around this guy day to day since we acquired him in 2019, man, and he just continually displays that. Oftentimes he gets recognized for his extraordinary successes on the field and the talents. But those of us that know him, we appreciate those things, but we appreciate Minkah so much more. It is an honor to be associated with him. It is an honor to present him with the Bart Starr Award. And I'd like to ask you to join me in congratulating him.
Well, I echo everything Coach Tomlin said, and I have to sit here and think, I don't know if this is official or not, but I don't know that there's ever been a year where the Walter Payton Man of the Year and the Bart Starr Man of the Year came from the same team, and I don't think it's a coincidence. I think there's something about the leadership there, yes. Well, this man is very, very well-deserving, and I'm so honored and happy to have 5 great gentlemen here to help me present the award to Minkah Fitzpatrick. Congratulations, Minkah. I'll take that trophy from you, and the podium is yours.
Good morning, good morning. I would like to start off in prayer, if you guys don't mind. Thank you, Father, for allowing us to gather today under one roof and under your name, Lord. I just pray that, as we're in this city and, people are coming in for the Super Bowl and coming in to watch these two teams battle, that at the end of the day, that your name is a name that's glorified. Football is a game that has brought us all together, that has brought us great memories and relationships, but you are the one that holds it all together, Lord. So I just pray that as we go about our days, the rest of our day in the city, that we just continue to be a light in this dark place, in this dark world, that we continue to be who you call us to be, Lord. We pray this in Jesus' precious name. Amen. To be honest, well, first I want to thank Coach Tomlin for all of the kind words he said. He's not always as nice to me, especially after I mess up on a play. But to be honest, when I was told that I won this award, it came as a surprise to me. This past year, I missed a lot of time, missed a lot of playing time. I missed 7 games. I wasn't able to finish 3. So I had a lot of time to just do a lot of reflecting, a lot of time in isolation, a lot of time in meditation, alone with God, just sitting at His feet. And I've always prided myself on the fact that I'm always working on myself. I'm always working on my relationships. I'm always working on being a better man, a better brother, a better son, a better football player. And as I was sitting at His feet and just letting Him work on me, work on my heart, He revealed a lot to me. He revealed to me that I use this game and my craft at times as an excuse to not fulfill my duties as a brother, to not fulfill my duties as a son, to not be there for my people in my life. He also revealed to me that I can fail to be delicate with the beautiful flowers and beautiful people that are placed in my life. You know, this game is, it's not always the most gentle game. It's not always the most soft-spoken game. And, you know, sometimes it's hard to flip the switch from, you know, being a hard-hitting safety to having to be a tender and loving son to a mother who just lost her mother. He also revealed to me during that time that I can fail to empathize with other people, not because I can't feel what they feel or don't want to, but because in order to empathize with somebody, you have to get on their level and go to a place with them that might be uncomfortable for you and for the other person. And to be honest, sometimes it could be hard for me to be vulnerable with people who, whether it be a teammate, a friend, or my little brother, it could be hard for me to do those things. You know, in saying all that, like, you know, I'm honored to win this award, but like I said, I was in surprise. It surprised me for sure that I won this award, because there was a lot that I learned about myself that I need to continue to grow, continue to develop. So as I went about this past season, I was feeling defeated, one, because I wasn't able to play the game that I love. I wasn't able to be the player that you know, everybody relied on me to be. I couldn't, you know, go out there for coach and play for him. And so, you know, I was down and out. I was doing whatever I could to distract myself, whether that was sitting in meetings on Tuesdays and, you know, whether I was paying attention or not, I was just distracting myself. And I remember asking myself the question, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be a better man, I'm trying to be a good man. And I remember asking myself the question, like, what is a good man? And I was dwelling on it for weeks, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I pride myself on being a good man, but really, what is that? And so, you know, as I'm sitting in my prayer time, my quiet time, God started speaking to me and telling me, you know, a good man is a dead man. And, you know, at first I heard that and I was like, I don't really know what that means, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I want to live, you know what I'm saying? But then, you know, he revealed to me, I actually have it tattooed on me. One of the first requirements that Jesus gave to his disciples was to take up his cross and to follow him. You know, a lot of us think of the cross as, you know, the gold cross that we wear on our neck or might have a tattoo, but, you know, the cross was an instrument of torture. It was a instrument of humiliation. It was an instrument that, you know, was for an evil cause. But what Jesus did when he got on the cross was turn it into a beautiful thing. And you know, the fact that he died on that cross and made the cross a beautiful thing is what God was saying to me. A good man is a dead man. A good man is a man who is willing to pick up his cross and follow Jesus. A good man is a man who's willing to get up on that cross daily, sometimes multiple times throughout the day, pin his flesh to it, and continue to follow Christ. And so that's, thank you. So as I you know, received this award from my good character, my good relationship with the Lord, you know, I just want everybody to know that I'm nothing but the product of sitting at the feet of Jesus. I'm nothing but a product of a man who sits at the feet of Jesus at the foot of the cross, lets him mold his heart, mold his mind. I'm not a perfect man by any means, way, shape, or form. You guys, my mom. But yeah, like I said, you know, I'm thankful for this award. I'm thankful for my peers for voting me for this award. But you know, if you want to be a good man, if you want to be a great brother, a great son, great husband, just sit at the feet of the cross. Sit in silence with Jesus. Sit in silence with God. Let him mold you. Let him work on your heart. And you know, you'll be everything that you want to be. Saying that, I want to thank the Starr family for one just nominating me for the award. I want to thank all my teammates and peers who voted me for the award. And go Steelers and God bless.
I want to make sure we focus on the key to this award. The fact that Minkah Fitzpatrick is the winner is because his peers chose him. Through a season of so much adversity, as he shared, and thank you for sharing that. The cameras come and the lights are on and there's smiles, but deep down, what are these young men dealing with? And he pushed through it. And it's amazing to me, as an observer, that it wasn't just the Pittsburgh Steelers and his teammates that saw that. It was apparently people from across the entire National Football League. So congratulations again, Minkah. And real quick, I thought it was interesting that you said that you were surprised by winning this award. I don't know that you might be the only one who's surprised. And also, the one and only time I got to meet Minkah was 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago. He also won the Jason Witten Collegiate Man of the Year. Talked so much about character with that as well. So sorry, I'm not surprised that it has turned into this for Minkah Fitzpatrick. Finally, the tree. I need to point out the leadership, and when somebody like Tony Dungy starts it, Tony Dungy hired Mike Tomlin in Tampa. Mike Tomlin ends up in Pittsburgh, and then you win. We have the Walter Payton winner, and this. It's amazing. Keep the tree going, guys. It's working, and again, influencing millions of people. Speaking of influencing, the guy over here off stage has done that throughout his entire life and continues to do so today. Let's have Mike Singletary come on up on stage.
Good morning. Very honored to be a part of such a great morning. This story, for the time that I have up here for the next few minutes, just kind of want to go through my story and kind of how I got here. And maybe at the end of it, invite some others to receive their awards, one of the greatest awards of all. This story for me started the day before the Super Bowl, 1985. I was getting ready to play this game, and the night before the game, we were sitting in the room, and for anybody in this room that have been to a Super Bowl, as a player, as a coach, you know what that feels like the night before. There are so many emotions going through your mind and things that you've thought about, things that you've dreamt about, and all of a sudden it's here. And I just remember thinking, okay, when the game is over, I know we're going to win it. So when the game is over, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to be so excited about winning and being the best in the world. Well, we won the game. But right after the game, man, I started feeling something. The confetti was coming down and teammates were running up to me and, Mike, we did it, we did it, we did it. And here I am, I'm crying. And inside, I'm feeling lonely, I'm feeling afraid. And I'm thinking, what in the world is this? I'm not feeling what I thought I was going to feel at a time when I thought, wow, this is going to be amazing. And here I am feeling angry and like there's a hole in my soul. And then there was this voice that says, Mike, I want you to forgive your father. Now I'm saying, wait a minute, this got to be Satan. You got to be kidding me. This is the Super Bowl. I mean, this is the best I could come up with. Kim and I had been, my wife and I had been dating, and she had been telling me we've been dating, we're married, we got kids, but when she saw the relationship between my dad and I, she would always say, Mike, you need to forgive your father. I said, I've forgiven him. I mean, we don't talk, we don't have anything to say. It's okay, I'm good. You don't know what happened in my family. You don't know anything about what happened when I was growing up. And especially when Kim would say, Mike, it wasn't all your dad's fault. I said, wait a minute now. You don't know mama. You don't know my mama now. You need to leave that out of it. But it was time. The Lord was calling me to take it to the next level. The Lord was calling me to release this stuff that I had. And for me, it was unforgiveness. And I needed to lay that down at the altar because my family was about to start. Our family was about to start. We were about to have our first child. And all of the stuff that I had from the hate that I had from my dad, it was about to go into my family. And everything that I wanted my family to be, everything that I had dreamt about, everything that I wanted a loving family. I wanted to have a great relationship with my wife. I wanted to have my home breathe the Lord, Jesus. When you come into my home, I want you to know there's something special, something different about my home. Well, I realized that voice did not go away. Every day, Mike, you need to forgive your father. So go, you know what? I'm going to call my dad. I'm going to call him and I'm going to forgive him. I haven't talked to him in a long time. He probably won't even answer the phone. Well, I call him, he picks up the phone. Hello? Dad, this is your son Mike. I just want you to know I forgive you. And my dad says, forgive me for what? Now I put clothes on your back, I put food on the table. What else is there? And so needless to say, for the next hour and a half, Dad and I screamed and yelled and cried, but I knew when I hung up that phone that I needed to leave Chicago and go to Houston and sit down across from him and get this right. I'm on the plane going to Houston, and I couldn't wait to get in front of him to tell him what I thought. I'm sitting down and I'm looking at my dad, and as I'm talking to him, I begin to realize that this man, my dad, that beat my mom and beat us, all us kids, and I'm looking at him and I'm realizing I'm talking to a little boy. I didn't realize he was kicked out of his home at 13 years old. Going from house to house, married my mom when he was 16. She was 15. What did he know? He had no chance. He had no chance of being a father. He didn't have the tools. He didn't have the wherewithal. He's supposed to be a pastor, a man of God. But I begin to realize that he hated his dad too. And he never really forgave him. He never really let the stuff go. I remember asking my dad at the end of our conversation, I said, Dad, talk to me. Talk to me. I'm your son. I'm the youngest son. I'm the last of 10 kids. Help me so that I don't become like you. Help me. I don't want my family story to look like this. I want to love God. I want my family to look like God. I want my wife to love me as I love her. And I want my whole family to love you. How do you help me do that, Dad? I'm just like you. And Dad said, son, it's like I was driving down this highway and I knew I needed to get off and just stop for a bit, and I never did. I kept going. So, as I come to the end of this morning, and what I have to say, unforgiveness was my stuff. And for so many believers, you know, when I became a believer, I made that choice. There was no voice. I just knew I wanted something different. And I said, I found God. Well, that day, God found me. And this morning, I know that there are some in this room that as I'm speaking, may not be unforgiveness, maybe it's guilt, it may be something else, it may be a million things. But whatever it is, I believe in this room this morning that God is calling some names. I believe that God is calling you to put your stuff on the altar. In the morning when you thought you were coming to hear about some athletes that won the Bart Starr Award, God is calling your name and asking you to receive the greatest award that you will ever receive. And that is just His grace, His mercy, His love, His forgiveness. He receives you no matter what the evil one is telling you, even as I speak. You're unworthy. You know what you did. No, God is not going to forgive you for that. God is never going to love you for that. It is a lie. God is saying this morning, I am calling you. I am calling your name. Do not deny it. I am standing at the door and I am knocking. Will you answer that call? Now, as I come to the end of this, I want to say a prayer and invite you to be a part of this great, great event. But it's not the Bart Starr Award. It's the day of your freedom. Your freedom in Him, free to be all that God has called you to be. If God is calling your name this morning, then I would ask that you bow your head and repeat after me in this prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I know that I'm hearing something. He's talking to me. Father, you're talking to me. And you are calling my name. And Lord, this morning I am saying yes. I'm saying yes to your grace that you have found me. I am saying yes to your grace by faith that I receive everything it is that you want to give me. I thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, dying on the cross for me, that I might live forever. Lord, I receive you. I receive you, Lord, as my Savior, and I will follow you all the days of my life. In the name of Jesus Christ, this is just the beginning. God bless you. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. What an honor. Thank you, Mike, for sharing your powerful story. You have been a tremendous inspiration to so many for so many years, so thank you. Again, my name is Corwin Anthony. I'm the Chief Ambassador Officer for Athletes in Action and the Executive Director of the Super Bowl Breakfast. First, I apologize for my family, y'all. They just drove from Bakersfield, so they're still a little country. Well, first, if you prayed with Mike, I think there are a few people here who think you just made the greatest decision of your life. And if you will allow me just a few moments, it's been our customary at this breakfast to get your feedback. We really want to get your feedback on what you've experienced or what we've experienced together. So on the screen, you'll see a QR code. So please pull your phones out. When you scan this QR code, it will take you directly to a feedback page, just a few short questions. So please get your phones out now and scan that code. We promise there's no obligation here, there's no spam here, but there are resources and people behind some of those questions who are there to serve you no matter where you are this morning. So again, take just a few moments, scan the code, and simply fill out the form and provide us your feedback. And on behalf of all of us at Athletes in Action, I want to thank you for being here to celebrate Minkah Fitzpatrick and the legacy of Bart Starr. And as we get back to the remainder of our program, please watch the screen to see a message from our presenting sponsor, He Gets Us. Now, you might recognize this commercial. It's been running throughout the entire NFL playoffs, so roll the tape.
In English, what's the hardest thing to say?
For me, probably sixth. Like fourth, fifth, and then sixth.
Anything with a TH?
They threw three thick things.
That was really good.
Thank you.
The word vegetable? Vegetable.
Caesars. And Caesar.
Or did you mean hard to say emotionally?
I do, I mean emotionally.
Oh.
I was wrong.
A real tough one to say is, I'm sorry.
I forgive you.
Goodbye.
For me, it's saying I love you. But that's tough to say in any language.
All right, what a powerful morning, but we're not done just yet. We have some Chiefs and Niners still to hear from and a football to give out. So first, some information that you might find valuable. This morning's breakfast has been live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, and to the Caesars Palace properties in the area. So shout out to all of you guys who've been rocking with us and live streaming.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that means that they can continue to watch for as long as they want as well, many times as you want. We also want to let you know that the Bart Starr Award television special, so a TV special is going to air on NFL Network Sunday, February 25th, and you can see the information on the screen. We hope that you check that part out as well.
Absolutely, and then if prompter can just roll up to my next line. All right, so I want to thank the sponsors for making this morning possible. And I also want to say thank you to the host and executive committee members and volunteers who have given countless hours for this event.
Really, so many outstanding moments. For me, I'd love to get yours. For me, hearing those wives out there so honest and giving and open, just the celebration of what they've done was so special to me. I mean, obviously Minkah, but I'm just saying the other parts, right? I mean, that to me really was a special thing that I don't know that we've seen here before.
Yeah, and I think Mike Singletary, I still want to say coach.
I know, it's okay.
But Mike Singletary and his powerful speech, but I say right now, I know we're a little over, but it's time to say goodbye. So I can get,
I'm out.
Yeah, you're out.
Live stream continues back there, so watch me run in 4-inch heels, okay? Thank you all, but you're the best, right? Help me, yes, amazing, thank you. Timeout.
But real quick, take a listen from the 49ers and the Chiefs.
Obviously the status, the fame and all that, and so it's easy to get wrapped up in, wanting more and more, just the human side of things. And so for me, being a believer in Jesus, he tells us in Mark 8:34, if you want to be my follower, you must deny yourself, pick up your cross and follow him. And so that's first and foremost, is understanding that. And if I lose my life by serving him, then I've really found it, and I've saved my life through that. And so that's what I hang my hat on, and yeah.
I mean, off the field, it starts with my home and my wife and my children, and how do I leave them? And I think if I'm going to suffer well as a husband and a father, I have to look to Jesus, who suffered. And the first shall be last, the last shall be first. If we want to be leaders, we have to be servants first.
When I say I wouldn't be here without God, I really wouldn't. In my mind, he's the reason I'm in this position on this stage, and I got to give him all the honor, praise, and glory.
I've had a different walk to just kind of get up here to, everything happens for a reason. And God has always been on my side. There's been ups and downs in this league, and there's been ups and downs in my life, but God's always been in my corner, and he's brought me to this point.
That was Anthony Munoz's fault. I think keeps moving. All right, well, what a great morning. And now it's the time that you guys been waiting for. The winner of the autographed Tony Dungy and private meet and greet. Remember, don't be asking Tony Dungy about no gambling. He ain't gonna help you, all right? He gonna pray for you. The winner is Peter Callister and guest. Peter, where are you? Please come up to the stage as soon as we finish to claim your prize. Actually, just come on up here. But I want to, while he's making his way up here, I want to thank our executive hosts and committees and all of our sponsors for making this event possible. I want to say thank you to all of you guys for spending this morning with us. I know we ran a little long, but you guys rocked with us. We appreciate you guys. Enjoy the game, and go Chiefs, go 49ers, all right? All right, you guys enjoy the game. Happy Super Bowl.
What a morning. Wow, so many memorable moments, touching speeches, especially by the one and only Minkah Fitzpatrick. Let me bring in somebody who knows Minkah better than the majority of us here in this room today. Miles Killebrew, who is a teammate up in Pittsburgh,
That's
a
right.
Steelers safety, and a special teams extraordinaire. You were all pro and a pro bowler for special teams, which means you're crazy usually, because special teams guys
nuts.
mean they're flying all
That's
over
right.
the place, right? First of all, you had a nice contingent here. The coach flew in. What stood out to you about what Minkah said up there?
Oh my goodness, what a speech, first of all, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I mean, to hear Coach Tomlin speak before him about Minkah, and then to hear him, Minkah's speech after, I was just sitting there with my eyes just wide open, just trying to soak it all in. So much leadership between the two of those men. So it means a lot being here. It warms my heart to see Minkah being honored in this way, just because I know him personally. I'm in all of these meeting rooms with him. We do a lot of events outside of football together.
Yeah.
And I know just how humble he is and how much he really does not like the attention.
Right.
And so it's really cool
Right.
to see him getting the praise that he deserves.
It's good to embarrass him a little bit,
It
right?
is,
Get
that's
that
right. He
spotlight
needs
on him
it.
even more. And by the way, I was so excited. I think I mentioned on stage that when he won the Jason Witten Collegiate Man of the Year.
Yes.
I mean, that's why this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, because it's all about that character. Okay, he has great stats and he's a great player.
Right.
But it's that character that he exemplifies beautifully. I want to also get your take on this too, because apparently all the voting throughout the league, everybody's voting, all the teams vote, right?
Yes.
And when it came down to the final three, the Steelers hadn't even voted. They were just a little bit behind, and he was still in the lead without you guys even voting.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so as far as, I think it just speaks to the respect that everybody has across the league, not just in your locker room.
That's right. It's a small world, inside the NFL, and word travels fast. Guys are very observant, and it wasn't just guys on our team that got to see how Minkah carried himself from the sidelines a majority of this year. It was guys across the league that got to see that. It's definitely a position that would be easy to shrink in. I'm not playing. What do I do? How can I lead people? How can I be a better version of myself as a man? And he didn't hesitate. As you could tell from his speech, it was a lot of reflection. It was a lot of, finding out who he wanted to be as a man, and it showed. It showed all year.
Absolutely. I think it's one thing I've learned through the years, and certainly watching you all in the public spotlight, the more you're able to open up and be vulnerable, like he was up there, the more you're helping others. Because they just see what? They see all the flash, they see the fame, they see the money, and doesn't mean you're not human.
Right.
You all have things going on that maybe aren't always pleasant. So for him to share that, I just wonder what kind of impact that can have, especially on young men who look up to him.
I'm sure you know better than most. Our industries are very similar. It doesn't exactly behoove yourself to not put your best foot forward all the time, especially, when we're getting criticized daily, And so he was able to do that. He was able to be vulnerable, and it is something that's contagious. It's something that's admired, especially as a peer.
Yeah.
I don't know how many ways I can honor him through, for his leadership in the locker room. And so for him to get an award like this, I'm so happy for him because he needs.
Does he have something that's like, give me some dirt though, because he's amazing. We know that, right? Is he a jokester? Does he have a silly side? Is his locker messy?
Yes, listen, he is a jokester. He will, he'll pull some pranks on us. He's a good guy. He's an ultra competitor. I've stopped inviting him to stuff with, with kids because he's going to beat all the kids at the games. He doesn't care. They're like, why did you bring this guy? He's just smashing all the kids at Uno. But no, he's a great guy. Funny, he's a great guy.
You get the wild take 4 cards, right?
Oh, he's relentless. He doesn't care. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's good.
I like how he also said Coach Tomlin isn't usually that nice. So this is a softer side of Coach Tomlin that you got to witness as well.
I'm glad I was here to see it live because I wouldn't have believed it if you told me about it. No, Coach Tomlin, he loves Minkah. It shows. He loves all his guys. He's really proud of us all, and it was really cool to see that softer side of, hey, I love him as a player, but I also love him as a man. That's amazing to see.
Yes. Again, the stuff that we don't get to see, and those conversations that are so special. And I hope, you guys, your lives fly so quickly, right?
That's right.
And this time goes fast. I hope that these moments, not just for him and for you, but for your teammates who are watching, right, can really sink in. Like, you guys are doing something special there because, again, NFL Man of the Year this year and Minkah's award. So what is it about the Steelers locker room? Have you been able to put your finger on it? Because it is different.
This year has felt so different for me. This was my 8th year in the league, and I've seen a lot of locker rooms, but this one was truly special. It just feels like everyone has each other's backs. And when you have guys like Minkah and Cam in the same locker room, you really have no choice but to be a better person, because they are not only showing you how it's done, but they are going to hold you to that standard. And it has been an absolute blast.
What about the faith aspect? For you, what you've learned or how you've grown?
Sure.
Because obviously Coach Tomlin isn't shy about his faith with you guys.
We all have, it's funny you say that because a lot of us have very similar faith backgrounds. We all believe in Jesus Christ. We all can speak to each other from the same foundation. And with that comes accountability. And it carries over from on the field to off the field because of our faith. And you have to have something that you're holding on to. Otherwise, it's very easy to get tossed around in the ups and downs of a season. And so our Bible studies, it's funny you mentioned that. Minkah was actually the first player to lead a chapel before the game this year because he had the availability. Usually we're preparing, we're getting ready for the game. He was injured. And so he actually led. It's usually our chaplain, PK. Yeah, he's around here somewhere. But he asked Minkah to do it. And Minkah was nervous. He doesn't like speaking in public. Not that you could tell.
Right, he says.
But he did a great job, and it was really cool to see, and that just it speaks to his leadership.
Don't you think? I think that takes courage to do, especially he's not. He's been around for a minute, but he's not an old veteran. Like, that takes courage.
I forget that actually. Now that you say that, I forget. Because he's so wise. He just seems like he's a lot older than he is. But
you've been in the league longer than he has.
That's right. Yeah, I'm older than him. I know. I'm like, hey, Mink, give me some advice. But that's just how he is. He exudes wisdom. That's his character. And so it's, I just can't say enough good things about him.
Yeah. What is it that you have been able to take from whether it's chapel, whether it's being
Sure.
around other teammates who have a strong faith?
I would say for me, you know, I'm a new father. I have 3 kids. My youngest is only a few months old.
Wow.
My oldest is 3. So I got, you know, me and my wife, we have a lot going on. But
By the way, when my third was born, my first was still 3 as well.
Oh, my
I'm gonna
goodness.
pray extra for you.
Yes,
You're
you
gonna
understand.
need it. Yes, just you're not gonna remember anything, so just document everything because your brains is like mush. So go ahead.
Mush is right. That's right. Oh my goodness. So one thing that I've learned, especially from Mink, is he has a very innate ability to self-reflect and to really understand where he is personally, spiritually, at any given moment in his life. And he spends that time of self-reflection, like he said today, at the feet of the cross, at the foot of the cross, you know, at Jesus's feet. And I've learned from him how to do that on a more consistent basis, just from watching him operate. And it's something that I'm going to take for the rest of my life, you know, as a father, as a husband, of just reflecting often at the foot of the cross.
Has it always been that way for you?
What's that?
That strong faith where you know where to turn and when you're reflecting.
I can't say it's always been that way.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a longer journey for me. You know, I was blessed to have wonderful parents, you know, and they are Christian parents. I grew up in a Christian household, but I was a little hard-headed when it got to college, and I had to find my own way. But now I have an amazing wife, a lot like Mr. Singletary back there. I was blessed out of what I deserved, and so you know, it's been a journey for me right now, just getting as close as I can and just holding on.
I think that's what it is too. If you think you've made it and figured it out, well then you're wrong.
Oh, don't you get humbled so quickly? Oh my
Quicker than
goodness.
I'd like.
Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
absolutely. But that growth continues. I mean, for me, it's literally every single day. And then, like I said, with the wives up there, you have a choice.
What a great segment, by the way.
Right? I mean,
oh my goodness.
With what they said, I was up there just. No one knows what that's like, and
No.
your wife is learning as
Yes.
well, especially with
Yes.
3 young babies. But what it's like, the sacrifice there, but then the respect for sure that you have for your wife
So
and all
much
of them.
respect.
It's really, really special. Oh, okay. Stay here.
Of course.
Don't leave if you don't mind. Minkah just stepped to the podium. Ashley Sheffield, who's with the Super Bowl breakfast team. Ashley, can you hear me, first of all, please? I hope you're saying yes here. Can you hear
Paging
me, Ashley?
Meant to everybody, school senior guys like Tony Dungy, John Lynch actually spoke a little bit, and then, you know, my coach too. It's a generational, you know, just passing down of great coaching, great leadership, great mentorship, and I'm just honored to be a part of that journey.
Being the first Steelers and Alabama player, can you tell me how important that this award is to you?
It's kind of what I just said. It's just a staple of great leadership, great mentorship. My family, my people around me, and you know, I'm blessed. I'm honored that, you know, I just recognize it.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to let Minkah get back to his exciting press conference, but the fun is going to continue as I head to the VIP room. Sage, back to you.
First question here, Troy. What has Coach Tomlin taught you to be a better man, better father, and a better son?
Minkah does not like the spotlight and does not like the lights on him, does not like the microphones. He certainly fools us as we listen to his remarks, certainly on the stage and just now with you. What an incredible young man. Speaking of not so young of a man, but he is a special man here with us. Corwin Anthony, the Chief Ambassador Officer, let me get your title right, with Athletes in Action, and the Executive Director of the Super Bowl Breakfast. How are you doing? You did it again.
Well, I'm doing great. Thank you. This was a great event, and thank you for the job you and Akbar did. Such a professional, wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Oh gosh,
it's been a great time.
It's an honor. And Akbar, I mean, he's a superstar, so it was really cool to be up there, and just a room full of people where you could feel the faith. You could feel the believers.
Yeah.
And a lot of vulnerability up there today as well. And I think that was special.
Yeah, you know, we really wanted to create a program where the audience can connect with the folks on the platform, because we see these men and women from a distance in many cases, and sometimes they seem unrelatable, but when you hear their hearts, when you hear their transparency, you think, wow, I understand, I can connect, I can relate. And so we want the audience to experience that this morning. So.
If you had to pick a highlight,
oh my
besides
gracious.
Minkah's the winner, okay?
He's amazing.
So you're 1A. What stands out to you that's a little bit different maybe this year versus past years?
Well, you know, we had a bunch of firsts this year, you know, and this was the first year we honored someone else other than Bart. We honored the great hero Jim Thorpe. And so I got to pick that moment as one special moment to, you know, be recognized. And
that was really cool.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I know. But that was special. And of course, Mike Singletary, his heart came
Coach
out.
Mike.
Oh man, you know, we heard him share that a while back, and we said, Mike, this is the story. This is the message that we want you to share at the breakfast, because it was so impactful. And so, yeah, that's my two favorite times.
And you could keep going and keep going, which means we just need to go back and watch the live stream. Stay put for a second, if you could, Corin. Ashley Sheffield is in the VIP room once again with another special guest. Ashley, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Sage. I'm here with Tony Dungy. And Coach, you know, this is a very important award for you. Since Bart's passing, the honor of getting to present the award every year has been passed down to you. Can you tell me what this award means?
It's very humbling, and to be able to represent the Starr family and to present the award winner every year, it's been special for me. And these are some great young men that we are giving the award to, so that makes it doubly special.
And 5 of those men have been past players. Can you tell me what that means to you and the importance of you being a leader for them?
Well, it really has been. I kind of got that from the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. Art Rooney Sr., our owner, and Chuck Noll, who was my coach at the time, always talked about doing things off the football field. So when I became a coach, that was my mantra as well, and I passed it on to our players, and John Lynch and Peyton Manning, Ward Dunn, Derek Brooks, Trent Dilfer all won the award, and it gave me goosebumps, as I'm sure Coach Tomlin had today when he was able to present Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's a lot of fun in this VIP room, so we're going to let you get back to it. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you. It's great morning.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we're going to keep walking around and see who else we can find in the VIP room to talk to.
Okay, I'm depending on you, Ashley. Keep scouring the room, and we'll be standing by for anybody that's willing to talk to you again, because it feels like, I remember from past breakfasts too, where it's a packed house in that VIP room, and everybody stands around and reflects because of how moved people are, again, when people are sharing and are vulnerable. Let me ask you this, because I think it's important for people to understand the process of how Minkah took home that trophy today.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
And we said it earlier, but it's so meaningful because it comes from his peers who voted him that person. But it's a long process. Can you take us through it?
Oh, yeah. It starts way back in the early fall. All of the teams submit a nominee, and we take those 32 names and whittle it down to the top 10 people on the ballot. Bart Starr Sr. had a list of criteria that he wanted for that winner. And so we would whittle those 32 names down to 10 based upon Bart's criteria. And then all of the players across the league, they get sent a digital ballot, and they choose their top 1, 2, and 3 finalists for the Bart Starr Award. And Minkah Fitzpatrick, just his name just kept rising and rising and rising to the top. And, you know, obviously a well-deserving young man for this award.
And again, with missing 7 games,
yes.
it is more than what you do on the field.
Exactly.
And he chose to handle that adversity so gracefully. Let's go back out now to Ashley. You got Coach, who gave an incredible speech here on stage, and the prayer itself, so memorable from Coach Singletary. Hi, Ashley.
Hey, Sage. Yes, we have Mike Singletary here. Mike, it's great to talk to you. So typically you are in the spotlight, but today you got to watch your wife be up on stage and speak to the excitement of the award. Can you tell me what that felt like for you to watch your wife on stage?
But it was a fantastic morning and gathering, and I really appreciated that time listening to her talk, and she does a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had the opportunity, too, to share things that are most important to you and as a father and family man. So how was that moment for you?
It's great anytime you have a chance to share about family and faith and the gospel. And so it was just a tremendous opportunity, a tremendous privilege, and very thankful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as y'all know, it's crowded, it's fun, it's a great environment. So, Mike, we're going to let you get back to celebrating the day, but thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, great. We've got Kirsten Watson as well.
Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, absolutely. Here too. This is Kirsten Watson.
Yes.
And as y'all know, it's an exciting, it's a fun and filled environment, and you had the privilege of getting to speak today on stage. So what was that like for you?
It's kind of crazy that I'm only here because he won the award, which is kind of nice. And he's home watching all of our kids, so that's even funnier. But no, it's been a great pleasure and honor to be here today, to be able to speak on stage just about, not just how awesome he is, but how awesome the Lord is. So it's been just a really great privilege.
Yeah, absolutely. And so in addition to the fun and excitement, Kirsten, you're well aware, there's also a dark side and sad side to this week. The Super Bowl often attracts a lot of human trafficking, and that's a foundation that's near and dear to you and your husband Benjamin's heart. So if you could just share a little bit as to why that's important and how are y'all combating it for this week?
Yeah, so we work with an organization called IJM, International Justice Mission, and they basically they go into areas of the world where they already have laws in place against trafficking, and they go and help and educate the police force and the government on what to look for and how to combat this, and they bring people to justice. And not only do they bring people to justice, they also work with the survivors in restoring their dignity and letting them know about Jesus. And so we feel like we're part of that because we have kids ourselves, and we know that we would not want any of those things to happen to them. And so the Super Bowl is a great time to bring awareness to what's going on that's happening right here in our country and all over the world. And now through cyber, things happening all, cross-wired all over. So it's important to us because it's something that is important to the Lord. The Lord is a God of justice, and so we stand behind all things that bring people to justice and obviously help victims to be restored to the Lord as well.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful passion. So how did you and Benjamin get involved in this? Where did it stem from?
Yeah, we've always, we said from the beginning that we want to be the voice to the voiceless. And so whether it was working through organizations or like when we were in college, it was just volunteering at our local church, working with kids. We've always wanted to be a voice to the voiceless. And so throughout his career, we found different ways. We didn't know exactly what that would look like. But we were able to meet great people like Jackie with IJM, working with different people, doing things around life and ultrasounds. And so I think the Lord just kind of puts you into position and he stirs your heart. And if it matters to God, it matters to us. And so we have just always been open to the organizations that we work with, the things that we get involved with. And this just happened to be one that we are so grateful, forever grateful that we were able to be a part of.
Absolutely. Well, it's a beautiful passion, and you're right. It's great to find something like that you can get so involved in as a family and with children and with your husband, and it's just a great story. And there's so much and many strides being made by you and others as well to end this, but there's so much more work that needs to be done. So we're just grateful to have you here, and it's been great talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
Sage, we'll take it back to you now.
Thank you, Ashley. Great job up there. And you know that the same passion that Kirsten Watson shared about ending trafficking is the mission of one of our sponsors, Kids Not For Sale. Take a look.
I saw the grave injustice of children being exploited, trafficked, so I started Kids Not For Sale. My goal and objective is to stop it, which people tell me is impossible. I don't believe it's impossible.
The mission of this organization, Kids Not For Sale, is to inspire community-based initiatives focused on changing legislation, providing education, and resources that support prevention and facilitating shelter and treatment for survivors of child sex trafficking. Protect our children from sexual abuse. Kids are not for sale.
So that's obviously a very difficult topic, but I encourage you to get involved with any of these organizations and do whatever you can to help end human trafficking. It's really up to all of us to take that step and do whatever it is possible that we can each do. Cor and Anthony, final thoughts here. And listen, Super Bowl's tomorrow, but can you take a break before you have to plan ahead to New Orleans in 2025? What is the process like? Do you get a break and then you guys go right into it?
Well, I get about a month of a break, and then we're going to start planning for New Orleans like next month. And so, yeah, a lot of monthly trips and to identify a local team of leaders and start getting the word out. A lot goes into it, as you can imagine. And so we look forward to doing this all over again in New Orleans.
The bar gets raised higher every year. That's your fault. So good luck.
Thank you.
Continuing
Thank you
it, and you know what? You do it every single year. I know that it will be no different next year in New Orleans. 2025 sounds like a long way away, but it's not.
It's not.
It's like tomorrow.
It's pretty quick.
So in the meantime, all of us, we're going to take our break and most importantly, enjoy this game. The Niners and the Chiefs. Who do you want, real quick?
Oh, my goodness. I want a great game.
No, Ward Dunn, you have to have an answer.
Did Ward do that, really?
Yes, that's typical.
Oh,
he
my
always did that
goodness.
when he
You
was
know
a player.
what? You can't.
I say it's not about who we want, it's about who we think will win. And in this case,
You know, when you have the owner at your breakfast, you got to go with the owner of the team.
got to go with Mara and the Chiefs.
yeah.
Okay, fine. I'll go with the Niners then. How about that? I'll
That'll
stir the
work.
pot a little bit. But everybody, please enjoy. I mean, Mahomes, Purdy, Kelsey, McCaffrey, Reed Shannon, revenge, dynasty. I mean, the Chiefs to me are already
lot of
kind of a
great
dynasty.
stories.
And even Taylor Swift. Yes, incredible story. We hope that you've enjoyed all the stories that you've heard here today and that maybe they've caused you to think a little bit about what is most important to you. Thank you for watching. Again, we'll see you next year, 365 days from now in New Orleans.
The 2024 Super Bowl Breakfast live stream has been presented by He Gets Us and Kids Not for Sale. Athletes in Action thanks you for watching this program. For more information on what was shared in this program, please scan the QR code on your screen. Thank you for watching the 2024 Super Bowl Breakfast.